Have you ever wondered why some people who have everything luxury homes, expensive cars, and limitless bank accounts still feel restless, lonely, and empty inside? The truth is, money without meaning is like a beautiful cup filled with sand. It looks valuable, but it cannot truly nourish your soul. Deep down, every heart longs for more than numbers on a screen. We crave significance, contribution, a sense that our lives matter. But when wealth is pursued without connection to purpose, it turns from a blessing into a burden, leaving us forever chasing something we cannot name. What if money was never meant to be the destination, but the vehicle? What if true prosperity isn't about how much you have, but about how much of yourself you give, how deeply you live, and how powerfully you align your resources with your soul's calling? And so, in this journey, we will step beyond the surface of money and uncover its deeper meaning. Together, we'll explore how wealth, when aligned with spirit, transforms from mere currency into a force of creation, joy, and fulfillment. This is not just about earning merit, it is about awakening to the profound connection between money and meaning. Once you see it, you'll never look at wealth the same way again. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Money Without Meaning. Imagine this. You're walking through a magnificent mansion. Every room glows with chandeliers, the closets are filled with designer clothes, and a luxury car waits quietly in the garage. From the outside, this looks like a dream life. But if you listen closely, you hear silence, no laughter, no warmth, only emptiness echoing through the halls. This is the illusion of money without meaning. It looks perfect on the surface, but beneath it lies a quiet hunger, longing for fulfillment that wealth alone cannot satisfy. We live in a culture that often teaches us that money is the ultimate prize. Advertisements whisper that if we just buy the next thing, happiness will finally be ours. Success stories glamorize the billionaire lifestyle as the pinnacle of achievement. But when we strip away the glitter, many people who reach the top still wrestle with anxiety, emptiness, and the haunting question, is this all there is? Money, by itself, is neutral. It has no power to create joy or emptiness until we assign it meaning. Without that deeper connection, money becomes like chasing the horizon. No matter how far you go, you never quite arrive. Pause for a moment and reflect. Have you ever achieved something, a raise, a new car, a bigger house, only to find that the satisfaction faded almost immediately? That's because material wins alone cannot fill the deeper spaces of the soul. They can bring comfort, yes, but not true peace. And here lies the danger. When people pursue money without meaning, they often spiral into one of two traps. Either they become obsessed, always chasing more and never feeling enough, or they become disillusioned, rejecting wealth altogether and believing money itself is evil. Both are illusions. Both disconnect us from the truth. Money is neither savior nor villain. It is simply a mirror of the meaning we give it. The awakened millionaire understands this truth. Money without meaning is hollow, but money infused with purpose becomes powerful. It stops being a symbol of status and starts being a channel for transformation, not only for yourself, but for the lives you touch. So, as we begin this journey, let us tear down the illusion that money alone can satisfy, because the real treasure lies not in the numbers in your account, but in the way those numbers serve the highest calling of your heart. Chapter 2. The True Nature of Wealth. Wealth, the word alone, carries so much weight. For some, it stirs excitement, visions of freedom, luxury, and opportunity. For others, it triggers unease. Even guilt goes of old beliefs that money is selfish, corrupt, or unattainable. But what if we've misunderstood wealth all along? The true nature of wealth is not about accumulation. It is not about stacking bills, counting coins, or measuring life by possessions. At its core, wealth is energy. It is the flow of value moving, circulating, expanding, When we align with this truth, we realize that wealth is not a static prize to be hoarded, but a living force to be nurtured and shared. Think about water. When it flows, it nourishes the land, quenches thirst, and sustains life. But when it is dammed up, isolated, or left stagnant, it grows toxic. Wealth behaves the same way. It thrives in movement, in circulation, in exchange. To cling to it tightly out of fear is to misunderstand its nature. True wealth wants to breathe, to flow, to multiply through generosity and creativity. Here's the deeper truth. Wealth is not external, it is internal. Your ability to recognize opportunities, to create solutions, to contribute your gifts to the world, these are the real sources of wealth. Money simply reflects the energy of that exchange. When you offer value, wealth responds. When you withhold yourself out of fear, wealth shrinks. But perhaps the most profound shift comes when we stop equating wealth with just money. Wealth is time, precious hours spent with loved ones. Wealth is healthy energy to wake each morning with vitality. Wealth is wisdom, the clarity to see beyond temporary distractions. Wealth is freedom, the ability to live in alignment with your purpose. Money then becomes just one expression of wealth, not the whole picture. And when you begin to see it this way, the burden of chasing more dissolves. You no longer strive to get money as if it were something separate from you. Instead, you awaken to the truth that wealth already lives within you, waiting to be expressed through your choices, actions, and contributions. This understanding frees you, because suddenly, wealth is not scarce, not limited, not locked away in someone else's bank account. It is abundant, expansive, and accessible. The true nature of wealth is not a destination, it is a state of being. Chapter 3. Aligning money with purpose. Have you ever noticed how money feels different depending on how you use it? $100 spent on impulse, chasing the thrill of the moment, often fades into regret. But that same $100 given to help someone in need, invested in your growth, or used to bring joy to someone you love, it leaves a glow, a sense of alignment, a whisper of deeper fulfillment. This is the power of aligning money with purpose. Money is not just a tool to survive, it is an instrument to express what matters most to you. When your financial choices are disconnected from your core values, money feels heavy, like a burden you carry without joy. But when your spending, saving, and investing reflect your higher purpose, money becomes light, energizing, and deeply satisfying. Think of it this way. Every dollar is a vote for the world you want to live in, a vote for the kind of person you choose to be. When you spend unconsciously, you give away those votes without thought. But when you align money with purpose, you cast each vote with intention toward growth, toward love, toward legacy. Alignment does not mean you deny yourself comfort or pleasure. It means you choose with awareness. You ask, does this purchase, this investment, this gift reflect who I truly am? Does it move me closer to my calling or further away? When money flows with purpose, it multiplies meaning. It shifts from being a symbol of status to a symbol of service. It reminds you that prosperity is not measured only by what you own, but by the impact your wealth creates, and here lies the awakening. Money, when aligned with purpose, becomes more than numbers. It becomes a force of transformation. It turns ordinary transactions into acts of love, acts of creativity, acts of freedom. So pause and reflect. What does your money currently say about your purpose? And what would shift if every financial decision you made was an echo of your deepest truth? Chapter 4. Spiritual principles that transform prosperity. Prosperity is often misunderstood as a purely material condition, measured only in dollars, possessions, or titles. But when you bring spirituality into the picture, prosperity shifts from a cold calculation into a living, breathing experience of abundance. The truth is, prosperity is not only about what you have, but about who you become in the process of creating and sharing it. Principle 1. Wealth. When you focus on what you lack, you shrink your experience of life. But when you practice gratitude, genuine, consistent appreciation for what you already have, you unlock the flow of abundance. Gratitude changes your perception, and perception shapes your reality. Suddenly, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The simple becomes sacred. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a spiritual magnet that draws more to be grateful for. Principle 2. Generosity creates flow. The universe thrives on circulation. What you give freely, without fear or manipulation, returns to you in unexpected ways. Generosity proves that you trust abundance, and that trust itself transforms your experience of prosperity. When you give with open hands, you are no longer controlled by money. You become its master, its channel, its conscious guide. Principle 3. Integrity aligns energy. Every dollar carries energy. If your wealth is built on dishonesty, manipulation, or exploitation, it will carry the weight of that imbalance. But when your financial actions reflect integrity, your money carries light. Integrity keeps your energy clean, your conscience clear, and your prosperity sustainable. It is the bridge between success and peace of mind. Principle 4. Purpose directs. Prosperity. Money without direction is easily wasted. But money guided by purpose multiplies impact. When your prosperity is tied to something larger than yourself, every effort becomes meaningful. Purpose turns wealth into a legacy, transforming prosperity from a personal victory into a collective blessing. Principle 5. Trust in the infinite. Fear says there is never enough. Spirit says abundance is infinite. This shift in perspective is profound. When you trust in the infinite nature of life, you stop clinging and start creating. You release the chains of scarcity and awaken to the flow of possibility all around you. The beauty of these principles is that they are not abstract, they are practical. Gratitude can be practiced today. Generosity can be expressed now. Integrity can guide your next decision. Purpose can shape your next step. Trust can replace your next fear. Each principle has the power to transform prosperity into something sacred. When you live by these principles, wealth no longer controls you, it serves you, and more importantly, it serves through you. Your prosperity becomes a blessing that ripples out into the world, touching lives you may never even meet. Chapter 5. Living a meaningful wealth lifestyle. What does it truly mean to live a wealthy life? Is it the constant pursuit of more and more possessions, more recognition, more numbers in the bank? Or is it something deeper, something quieter, something that cannot be bought but must be lived? A meaningful wealth lifestyle is not about extravagance. It's about alignment. It's the art of living in such a way that your prosperity reflects your values, fuels your purpose, and enriches your soul. It's a life where money is not the master, but the servant and ally that helps you create experiences, freedom, and impact. Choosing fulfillment over excess, true wealth is not measured by how much you consume, but by how deeply you feel fulfilled. Having more for the sake of more only feeds the ego. But when your wealth supports your growth, relationships, and contributions, it becomes nourishment for your spirit. Living meaningfully means asking yourself, does this bring joy or just noise? Does this enrich my soul or only my image? Designing your life with intention. A meaningful wealth lifestyle requires conscious design. It asks you to create daily rhythms where your money is directed toward what matters most. Maybe it's funding experiences with family, supporting causes that uplift humanity, investing in your personal growth, or creating art that inspires. Each decision becomes an act of intention where your financial energy is invested in the life you truly desire. Simplicity as freedom. There is a quiet luxury in simplicity. When you are no longer enslaved by endless consumption, you discover freedom, the freedom of time, clarity, and peace. A meaningful wealth lifestyle often chooses quality over quantity, depth over display. It's about curating your life, not cramming it with distractions. Contribution as a core practice. At the heart of meaningful wealth lies contribution. The richest lives are not those filled only with possessions, but those that overflow with generosity. When your wealth becomes a channel for impact, supporting others, nurturing communities, inspiring growth, you taste the deepest form of prosperity. You realize that you are not only creating wealth, but also creating meaning in the lives of others. To live a meaningful wealth lifestyle is to walk each day with intention, gratitude, and purpose. It's to transform money from a symbol of status into a sacred tool for expression and service. It's to see prosperity not as an end, but as a way of living fully, deeply, and consciously. And when you embody this lifestyle, you radiate abundance not just in what you have, but in who you are. Final reminder, the path of money with meaning at the end of this journey. Let us pause and breathe. Let us step back from the words, the ideas, and the lessons and return to the essence. Because the path of money with meaning is not simply a philosophy to admire, it is a way of life to embody, a sacred relationship with money. Money, in its truest form, is not cold or empty. It is energy. It is potential. It reflects what we choose to value, how we choose to live, and what we choose to create in the world. When we awaken to this truth, we stop chasing money as a begin welcoming it as a partner. Freedom anchored in purpose. The real wealth is not measured in numbers, but in freedom. Freedom to live aligned with your purpose. Freedom to invest in experiences that matter. Freedom to contribute to something greater than yourself. This freedom comes not from hoarding, but from harmonizing where money serves meaning. And meaning guides money, the courage to live differently. To walk this path is to live differently, in a world that equates success with accumulation. You dare to define it by fulfillment. In a culture that glorifies image, you choose substance. While many chase what looks rich, you create what feels rich. This is the quiet revolution of awakened wealth, a manifesto for your life. So let this be your reminder, your manifesto. Choose meaning over illusion. Choose purpose over ego. Choose contribution over consumption. Choose alignment over excess, because each choice is a step, and each step reshapes not only your life, but the lives you touch in the end. The awakened path of money is not about having it all. It is about becoming whole. It is about using what you have to live what you believe. It is about transforming wealth into wisdom, prosperity into purpose, and abundance into impact. And as you walk forward from here, may you remember this truth. Money with meaning is not only possible, it is the only wealth worth living for. Thank you for spending this moment with Awaken Light Audio. If something today touched your heart or opened your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. What spoke to you most? Tell us about your journey, your questions, your breakthroughs, and let us know what you'd love to hear next. Subscribe to stay connected. And if this message could uplift someone you care about, send it their way, because light grows when it's shared. Until next time, stay present, stay awakened, and keep becoming who you're meant to be.